Welcome to Silent Conversations, real talk with a former death worker. My name is Rochelle, and today we are diving into the topic of workplace death and how to deal with grief on the job. My guest joining me today is Andrew Salaby. He is the president of ATU Local 1573. That's the union that represents Brampton Transit employees. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I love this studio that we're in.
Do you?
I do. It
The
looks very
pink?
nice. Yeah, it's
Okay.
great.
Well, thank you for joining me. I know in the introduction I said that you are the union president that is representing Brampton Transit employees, and that's how we know each other. We're both Brampton Transit drivers, and 4 years ago you became the president
3 years ago.
of our union.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I know re-election is coming up again. But before we start talking about that, like I said in the introduction, I really wanted to touch on the topic of workplace death and grief, and specifically the experiences that drivers or transit employees experience, because I feel like it's a very unique experience that we have. So I've worked at Brampton Transit since 2011, so about 14 years now. And I don't know if you would agree, the vibe at our work is very like relaxed, almost like a college lunchroom cafeteria
At times,
vibe
yeah.
at times, right? Very relaxed. You know, you come in, you see the same people every day. We have our regular routine. We're going to talk bus driver talk right now. We take over the bus from the same driver for months at a time. So you kind of get into a rhythm of your day. Like our coworkers become a part of our day. And then over the years, we've lost quite a few coworkers back to back.
Yep. Yep. Especially the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
And then beyond then, sometimes drivers or maintenance workers or anyone really, just a member of the union, they get sick, they get ill, tragedy strikes.
And they're no longer there.
Exactly.
And I always thought that was such a weird feeling that even though we're coworkers and it's like, yeah, that's just my coworker. I don't really know him outside of work. I see Bob and I have lunch with Bob every day. And then all of a sudden, Bob is not there. And then within a week, you see Bob's name added to the memorial wall that we have at work. We have a big memorial plaque. And even though it's nice to honor the our coworkers that has passed, it's a little bit more because you're walking past and you just see empty spaces and then a name gets added as someone passes away. I know one name holds a very special place for you, Denton Salaby. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your father?
My father was one of a kind. He was a good man. He was known by pretty much every senior transit operator. If he didn't start with them, he trained them.
Yeah.
And, he was just a great inspiration for so many people. And when he passed away, it reverberated all throughout transit.
Yeah.
And it gave me a unique opportunity to experience what union brotherhood really was, because a lot of people came in to support. It's not often times that people end up working at the same place as their parent.
As their parent, yeah.
And I had the opportunity to not only work where my dad worked, but I essentially grew up there.
Yeah.
My dad was part of the old school days of bus driving, so my babysitter was him, and my playpen was the bus. So I'd be sitting on the bus as a child, riding around with my father. My mother would pick me up, drop me off. I'd be on the bus,
Yeah.
and I'd even run around old school Clark Garage.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of the senior operators now when they were junior operators,
Yeah.
but I was a child then, And it brings back a lot of great memories, especially with the double-decker bus. My father drove that bus to my primary school, picked up my entire class, and we went for a tour all throughout Brampton.
It's nice that you can have those fond memories of your father.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I am grateful that my father was always there for me, and he led by example, and I am who I am now because of him. And I believe that when I was first elected president, it wasn't just about what I brought to the table. It was the legacy that I was following, and people understood who my dad was, the type of person he was, the interpersonal skills he had, and I essentially inherited those skills.
Yeah.
And people believed in me and believed in that fact. And something that touched me the other day was somebody told me, they said, Andrew, we elected you last time because of your father.
Yeah.
This time I'm going to elect you because of you.
And that's
And
a good feeling.
it is. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a real testament to who my father really was.
I want to ask a little bit more personal. What it was like losing your father at such a young age and unexpectedly, from what I understand.
Yeah, I
How
was,
has that changed things for you as a young man, newly married?
well, I grew up right away, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was 26 when my dad passed, and arguably you're a grown man by then, but still young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And uh, there was really no room left, I guess, to say for error or development under his wing. He was there one day and then he was gone. You know, the story goes, I was working in the parks department. I'd been there for 10 years. I felt like I was at a ceiling.
Yeah.
I wanted to try something new, and my father said, "Why don't you come down to transit?" So I came down and I started as a GSP, and I worked there for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then I decided, you know,
To join us in the big leagues. Drive the bus.
don't say that. Don't say that because
No. We love our GSPs.
yes, our members
Yes.
work really hard.
Yes, they do.
But I'm always the type that wants to just continue to elevate, and
Yeah.
I saw driving as an opportunity to open that door. I didn't know where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if I wanted to be management. I didn't know if I wanted to be union. I didn't even know if I wanted to be transit.
Yeah.
So I did apply to become a driver. I went through the training process, and I can tell you all throughout the training period, you know, my father would make lunch for me because it was
Oh.
very. He was home. He was off sick,
Yeah.
and I was going to transit, and Sandalwood Garage is right beside where my father lived.
Yeah.
So on break, I would just go home, and he'd prepare a lunch for me, and then I'd go back. We talk about what's going on. Lots of great conversation because my dad was a transit operator and he was a driver trainer.
Yeah.
So he was just kind of telling me what to expect, how to go about things. I got some kind of insider knowledge, I guess you could say. Anyways, the day of graduation, I decided to,
Graduation from the training.
yeah, graduation from training. I celebrated with my classmates at St. Louis, had a pint, went home. My dad was there. I said, "Hey, Dad, I got my graduation. I graduated. I got my plaque here." And he said, "Oh, that's nice, son." And then we talked for a bit. And he said he was tired.
Yeah.
So I said, "Good night, Dad. I love you."
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I just did my own business that night, went to bed, and I woke up the next morning to my mother's tears.
Oh.
So the day I graduated was the last day my dad was here, and it was almost like he was passing the baton on to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't know that part of the story.
Not many people do.
Yeah.
Not many people do. But,
I'm glad you're able to share that today.
yeah.
Yeah. I can see the tears a little bit in your eyes, understandably. I didn't get a chance to meet your father because I think I met you just as you became a driver and your dad passed away. But I've always heard positive things through you, but other drivers, the senior drivers, because we know that senior drivers can be very territorial. They know everything. But they always, from what I can remember, no matter what their feelings are towards you, good or bad, they always had positive things to say about your dad. So that's a testament to your dad and his personality and how he moved. Because how long was he working at transit for?
30 years.
30 years. Well, he put in his time.
He did.
He put in his time. And how did you feel Brampton Transit or the city of Brampton as a whole was there to support you through that?
Well, thanks to our union environment, there's strong benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And the benefits were there for my father. When he passed, he got his wages and Omer's. It was all passed over to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So on the corporate side, everything was done as it was supposed to.
Yeah.
The union side was a additional layer of support.
Okay.
And I'm happy to be part of a union family. And I can tell you that it doesn't matter who's there. Could be me, could be anyone else. If they're elected, they're there to do their job. They're there to represent. They're there to support. And the union at that time was Rob Gowdy and John Zerdine. And they did just that.
Yeah.
You know, and my father specifically trained, actually both Rob Gowdy and John Zerdine, right? But that was a dark time for me. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go, and I could have really gone anywhere. And I give Rob Gowdy and John the credit because in one of my darkest times, uh, rather than allow me to become consumed by my sorrow and my grief,
They were there to kind of support
they
you.
were there to distract and
Yeah.
support. And Rob really dived in, and he's like, you know, Andrew, um, he saw my potential,
Hmm.
and he got me involved in the union. He brought me to the international. Like, who am I? I'm a nobody, and you know,
You're bringing, yeah.
I'll never forget the day. I was just down, and I was off work. I booked off sick, and Rob called me. He's like, "How you doing?" I said, "I feel like shit."
You
You know,
can swear,
excuse
don't
my
worry.
language. You
It's
know,
okay.
yeah. I feel like crap. And he says him and John are headed down to ATU Canada.
Hmm.
I didn't even know what ATU Canada was. I'm like, okay. He said, "Why don't you come with us?" John has his Mustang out, so they both came, picked me up with the top down, and we drove. Went all the way down to Etobicoke,
Yeah.
where the ATU Canada headquarters were. I met John DeNino, who
Hmm.
was at that time the newly elected
President of
president.
A2 Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, they didn't. There was no need to tell my story then, but they just brought me there, and I was able to witness, you know, what unionism looked like in the works,
Yeah.
and it distracted me and inspired me. And I thought, you know, this is something that I want to do. These guys are here. They're working for members, not just at Brampton Transit, but all across the GTA and Ontario and Canada. And it really interested me. And I think from there, Rob Gowdy saw the spark. And that's when he encouraged me to run for shop steward.
And then we fast forward a little bit. 3 years ago, you were elected president.
Mm-hmm.
You are the youngest and the first black
Mm-hmm.
union president for ATU Canada, if I'm correct, right?
Uh,
Or
so
you're definitely the youngest.
youngest and first black in ATU 1573.
1573, which is our Brampton Transit
Yes.
local.
Marvin Alfred beat me to the punch for first black.
And he's the union president
Yeah.
for TTC.
And he started 1 year before me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So within the 3 years, we had elections. I think you came in just after COVID, so you didn't have to deal with the COVID situation while it was happening. But during that time, just to bring it back to the topic that we're talking about today, you've had to deal with passing of drivers unexpectedly. We had a few back to back.
And maintenance workers.
And maintenance workers. I apologize. I'm a little bit biased. I'm a driver, but and maintenance workers or just union brothers and sisters. Also dealing with helping drivers that were involved in accidents that caused death or witnessing death. How did you step up and continue to pass on that support that you received from your predecessor, Rob, and now? Because we had a lot back to back. Some touched me a lot. The one I always remember, maybe because his badge 666, our little movie star, not little, our movie star bus driver. That one hit me hard, hearing that he passed and the circumstances around that.
Phil was a good man.
Phil was a good man. Sorry, I do apologize. I said badge 666, but his name was Phil. What was your experience? Like, how did you feel some of the drivers reacted to some of these drivers that passed away?
Well, as human beings, in general, we are creatures of habit. And you see somebody every day, just like you said, and then one day you don't. And it's really a measure of your connection with that person. From the outside looking in, and somebody who's actually experienced it, you see and you talk with somebody every day, or you just see them in general.
Yeah.
And then one day they're not in that spot anymore. One day they're not giving you that smile and that handshake, or telling you that funny movie story with Denzel Washington.
Or they're
gone.
not sitting in the chair when we
Yeah.
walk into the garage.
Yeah.
We all know we all work different shifts, but there's someone always there. You know the people that are on the same shift as you. We work the same shifts for months at a time. So it is a weird feeling when they're just no longer there anymore. And some are close. Like I know one that also hit me because it was a friend of mine, Errol Frazier, when he passed away suddenly. And I knew him a little bit before we started work because we went to school together. But I remember hearing that he passed, and that one really hit me, and I didn't know how to deal with it because it's like, yeah, he was my friend. Yeah, but it was just a coworker. But we would talk all the time, and we would have conversations, and he would say, man, I can't wait to, he just got married, and he was talking about certain things he wanted to start doing. And our daughters went to camp together. So I'd always message him and say, okay, it's time to sign up for the very cheap camp. It's coming up. And he didn't respond to my message. I'm like, okay, I'll see Earl again. We're probably just on different crews. And I got a call from my cousin and let me know that he passed. And it was just such a shock because I'm like, I just saw him. He just asked me to drop off some paperwork to the head office for him. And he said he had to go to the doctor's, just check something out. And then you find out that he passed away and he was so young. Like it's just a weird feeling to know that me right now at the age 41, I'm older than him now. I'm younger than him, but he never made it to my age. So it's just such a weird feeling. And I was also speaking to another coworker, and if we're like touch on just dealing with grief in general. And most recently, he was telling me that his mother passed away. And he was like, Rochelle, I'm just so sad. And I was like, go home. He goes, yeah, but I shouldn't have to go home. I know my mom passed away, but I got to come to work. I'm like, you don't. Your mom passed away. You're sad. That's okay. You can just take the time off. Because for us, it's very distracting. We drive and we just think all day long. And to have that type of grief on your mind and not know where to kind of deal with it, it's not good.
That's why it's important to have the right support systems in place.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that when one person passes away, it affects so many people in different ways.
In different ways, yes.
And people honor those people in different ways.
Yeah.
Some people think that if I grieve this person, I'm disrespecting their life.
Yeah.
And some people think if they don't grieve this person, they're not respecting the person enough.
Yeah.
When my father passed, it hurt, but I didn't cry until February. I didn't cry until February.
And what month did he pass?
He died in August.
In August.
August 2019. I didn't cry till February 2020. I remember that day specifically because I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we were just watching TV, and she was combing my hair. And I don't know what happened. I was watching the TV, and I just started to bawl.
Yeah.
The TV didn't remind me about my father. There was nothing on. I just bawled. And when I say bawl, I mean like...
It hit you.
TV ugly cry bawl. Like, I was sobbing to the point, like, at first she thought she hurt me. Then she thought, like, something happened.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even explain it. And it took me, like, I was sobbing for, like, 20 minutes. And then I was able to catch myself. And then I tried to talk, and I started sobbing some more. And then, when I was able to calm down, I explained that, I miss my dad.
Yeah. And it was good to maybe release that.
Yeah. Probably a good, healthy cry. But, men don't like to cry. And, I know in this age and this day in society, maybe it's not appropriate to say that, but stereotypically speaking, men don't like cry. So.
But it's needed.
Yeah.
So you can kind of move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
And another thing that I've noticed, I guess I could just talk for myself, that I know that really affects me, and I share it with other drivers, and it's not until I say it do they realize, like, oh yeah, that is kind of messed up. Like, even something as simple as doing the same routes we do every day. But we all know accidents happen on the road. You'll drive past a really bad accident. Someone passed away. Some of these accidents involve a vehicle with our buses. The person passed away. But we're still doing the same routes. And now you're seeing a memorial. And one that really always stands out to me is the one by Heart Lake in Brampton. And it was the 3 young teenagers. They were siblings, and they got into a car accident. All of them died. And for a very long time, the memorial was there. And I would drive the Route 7, and I would pass it, and I'm just looking at it like, oh, man. And even though I don't know them, it was just like a constant reminder of that. And then one day, they removed the memorial. So now I'm dealing with, oh, my God, they're not there anymore. And that was another thing. And again, it's something so small because I don't know them, but I'm not realizing how much it's affecting me while I'm driving the bus because my eyes automatically go to that crash site. And part of the reason why I created Silent Conversations is to normalize talking about death and grief. And I really wanted to bring that to Brampton Transit in a real serious way because everyone says, oh, it's unique. Yeah, I work with people, they die. But I would say, okay, but have 5 died back to back in 1 year? They'd be like, no. I'm like, yeah, we have that often between drivers, GSPs, or just anyone. And then even if you want to go as far as your regular passenger is no longer there anymore. And it's like, oh, what happened to the singing lady? And then you find out in the group chat that she died. Those are all things that affect us that we don't realize it. And I wanted to create a space that we could all come together as drivers and just share it. Sometimes you may just need that one session and talk about it. And sometimes you may just need to talk a lot of times with a fellow coworker that can understand your kind of brain process and what you're going through there. So I know you and I have had that discussion multiple times about bringing a program like that to the union. I just wanted to discuss it a little bit more with you, if that's okay.
No, I think it's a great idea. You know, of course, we have our EAP,
Yes.
Employee Assistance Program, as well as our recently negotiated mental health benefits.
Yes, that's a big one.
You can get counselor coverage, but just to
We
have
never had coverage before. So it's a really big deal that we have mental health coverage right now. Yeah.
Yes, and thanks to the hard work of our executive
Union,
board
yeah.
members. Yeah. So I think that it would be a great opportunity to have that in our union, just a free, safe space where members can come and communicate with one another, essentially bond as a family, because we are a family.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it, as we expand, death is an inevitability.
Yes.
The demographics within our workplace are unique. We have young, we have middle-aged, we have old and close to retirement. And it's not always just about age.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about health.
Yes.
And you can never predict. Sometimes it just shows up, it just happens, and there are members now dealing with that struggle.
Yeah.
They come to my mind, they come to my heart now, and it makes me sad, but it is a fact of life.
Yeah.
And just having the opportunity to be able to have a platform to be able to communicate how you may feel
in a safe space that they're comfortable with, that they
Yes.
know, and with a licensed professional there. Because going through the EAP program myself, and even peer support, very good services that they have, but it's still, when you leave, you still have to go through the next step, and you kind of have to do it on your own. And I'll speak from my own experience, calling, getting someone on the phone, talking about how you feel. They're like, okay, we'll get someone to call you back. You don't want to keep replaying over and over, 2 different people. So I wanted to bring someone there that they can help guide the conversation. And then through that conversation, out of the group session, you feel like you want more one-on-one help or counseling or just someone just to vent to or talk to. You already built that communication with that person and they're ready to go. And again, because of our executive board and how hard we fought for our union, we have really good coverage now for mental health services. So none of this would cost anybody anything. So I was really excited that you were excited about that idea that I brought.
I am. It's a great idea.
And I'm looking to launch it December 13th for our very first session. So hopefully everyone who is interested can sign on up and we can just have our first feeler just to see the need and what everybody would want. My goal is hopefully to have a scheduled meeting. We could do it weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending on the need. But I think it's something that we really do need at Brampton Transit, or just, we'll start with Brampton Transit. Because sometimes there's only someone else that works with you and goes through the same experiences as you that can understand that feeling that you're having. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we kind of pivot over and start talking about the elections coming up, and I know I have some questions for you about that because you are running for re-election.
I am.
Right? We're going to close this off a little bit with something nice and lighthearted, but still the importance of funeral planning.
Okay.
Okay? So I just want you to tell me 3 rules that you have for your funeral, and then I'll tell you my 3 rules that I'll have for my funeral.
3 rules
3
for
rules.
my own funeral?
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Did I put you on the spot?
That's
3 rules, 3 things that you would want, just 3 quick little things that come to your head. Because one thing I do promote, and everyone hears me preach at work, I promote prearrangement. I think it's very important to prearrange your services, especially since it's going to happen anyways. One, financially, it just makes sense. You lock into the goods and services, they can't raise the price. That portion is out of the way. You're also getting the important stuff out of the way. Where's your life insurance? Where's my pension? Things like that no one's running around trying to figure that out. But I also look at it as a bonding experience with your family. It's not morbid. They're going to do it anyways. Let's create another memory by planning my services, as morbid as that sounds. Because we can sit, we can laugh, we're picking out pictures together, right? We're putting it all together. I can tell you the rules I want. Some of them are serious, some of them are not. But it doesn't have to be morbid, especially if it's something that's going to happen.
Okay, so I'm not planning my funeral. I'll put
Okay.
that
Do you? Well, you
but,
do. When I say plan,
I'll tell you this. My 3 rules. Rule number 1: I need a timely funeral.
okay.
No long talking. No, there's gonna be no
Just
long
quick
talking.
in and out.
Just, I follow the regular, stereotypical Christian themed funeral, but I only want close families and friends going up there.
Okay.
And they know me well, so there should be no long talking. I don't want to put anyone to sleep. Rule number 2: at the reception, there better be some good food.
Even though you're not going to be eating any of it.
That's okay. Andrew likes food. Everybody who knows Andrew knows Andrew
likes his food, yes.
Good food, good Caribbean food.
Okay.
And some Southern food too. But one thing I don't want anyone saying is the food at my funeral was weak.
Seriously?
I don't want to hear that. Only good food. And
You're not going to hear it.
And then for the plot, I don't know, for some reason it's just bothered me. I don't want a 9-foot deep plot and
6
I put
foot.
there
Okay,
and my wife's on top.
Yes, you don't
No,
want that.
I want it side by side. I don't know why it is that way.
Okay.
That's just how it is. I want a side by side plot.
That's just 2 plots you have to buy then.
2 plot. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. I'm not paying for it. That's
See,
okay.
that's part. See, that's part of the planning, though.
Yeah,
you don't want to plan your funeral. You just did.
Well, hey, there's the idea. Everyone who knows me knows that's what I would do.
Knows what it is. Well, I made it very clear. I have a few rules, but we won't get into that. My number 1 rule is do not bury me. I do not want to be buried at all. Cremation only. I'm scared of being buried. I know I'm dead. It doesn't make any sense. But my main rule is cremation. Direct cremation as well. I don't want service. I mean, if you want, I don't care. I'm not here. But don't use the money that I left for a big elaborate service for myself. Cremation, take the money, do something else. If you do decide to do a service, do it outside the funeral home. It's cheaper. Save as much money as you possibly can because it's not going to bother me. But yeah, that's my only rule that I have for my service. Okay. After that, do as you please.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to shift gears just a little bit. And we're going to talk about your leadership journey, what's motivated you, what you have achieved so far in the last 3 years as the union president, and what you're hoping to continue if you are reelected. Are
Sure.
Because I know they're waiting to hear your answers.
Yeah, definitely. And this last 3 years has been time filled with, I'd say, strong memories, filled with goals, filled with ideas, filled with accomplishments. What inspired me to run was I thought that I could bring my skills, my understanding of what contractual law is, and my modern understanding of the world that we live in today.
Yeah.
I have no issues implementing or introducing the use of technology.
Yes.
And at a time where communication was scarce in the local, and what's associated oftentimes with communication is transparency, I saw a major gap that could be filled.
Yeah.
And I came in 3 years ago. I ran a campaign like no other was seen in the history of our
They
local.
had to even double check if you were allowed to do it because they weren't used to it. And I think what's on your side is your youth, right?
Yep.
You're the youngest, but there's no disrespect to anybody. There is a big age gap between you and the past presidents, and I think that was on your side. You were able to see things differently. Like you mentioned, technology, your ideas are fresh. Not saying their ideas were bad, but you just brought a new energy when you were running, right? And I think that also helped last time you ran.
For sure. And I could
in your campaign.
I could almost look at the last election as the easy part.
Yeah.
That was the easy part. The hard part was not only keeping up with the commitments, but honoring them.
Yeah.
a lot of time talk is cheap. Yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm elected. Boom. You're doing your own agenda.
Exactly.
The members are tired of that. They
Yep.
wanted to see change. They wanted to see direction, but not only direction, but direction fulfilled.
Yes.
And it all started with the 90-day promise.
I do remember that.
And every single day for 90 days, I reported to the membership,
Yeah.
and it wasn't easy.
It was. I mean, you were disheveled and everything.
Yeah, it was
you
not
weren't
easy.
shaving your beard.
Don't say that. It sounds bad. That sounds like I can't handle it.
What it was showing, it doesn't show that we were
Yeah.
bad, but you were committed and you were
Yes.
there late often.
Yes.
You showed up. I did work with you closely because at the time I was the chair for the Women's Committee, and you helped guide me through that process. And I witnessed you. You were hands-on in everything. You answered all calls at all times, till your lovely wife had to say, please stop, which is understandable. But you understood what it took because it's the first year. It's a transitional year.
Yes.
It's just after COVID. A lot of things are different and new.
Yes.
And also, I know you personally, you're not going to say that you're going to do something if you don't have a plan already in place to do it.
Yes.
Forget your intention. You're not going to say you're not going to do this, this, or this if you know you cannot implement it.
Correct.
So I just wanted you to share with me some key achievements that you and your current team has directly improved, that has directly improved the lives of our members.
Sure. So, training and accessibility to the union executive. It's never been before seen that you can access the executive so easily at a touch of a button. And I stamp that guarantee because if you can't reach any of the board members, you can reach me.
Yeah.
And I pride myself on, I will answer your call. And if I don't answer your call, I will call you back. And that's
Or
a
send that
guarantee.
text message I always get. Can I call you back? I'm in a meeting.
You got it.
And I'm like, oh, come on, Andrew.
You got it.
And then I'll hit somebody else up. But you do get back to at least myself within an hour. And sorry.
Yeah, no
cut you
worries,
off.
no worries. And sometimes that means taking calls at 2:00 in the morning, and even up until last night, a member was calling me in distress, and I promised to be there, and they're apologizing, sorry for calling too late. I said, no, in the graduation class, I told you,
Yeah.
if you hit that point, call me, I'm there. So fulfilling that, I think, is a major achievement, and not only fulfilling it, but maintaining it. Another thing is modernizing our local, the communication. It's one thing to make social media groups. But we established our union website platform. We established the memo system. We established the monthly Zoom meetings that
Yes.
members absolutely love. They love being able to just, from the convenience of their home or wherever they are, tune in on the Zoom. They don't even have to always participate, but just hear what other
Information is
people
there.
are talking about, and there's a sense of comfort knowing that they
Yeah.
know what's going on. Where there is communication, there is transparency, and I believe that this executive has excelled
Yes.
in providing that communication and transparency. Another huge win for us was the contract negotiation. Unprecedented benefit increases, unprecedented wage increases, new ideas introduced, the skilled trades premium, single day vacation days for the first time for operators, shoes included in the uniform.
Yeah.
After how many years?
Wait, when does that start?
That starts in the next uniform
Okay.
order. Okay.
Because I was like, oh, we get shoes.
And so much more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, you'll always have critics that say, oh, it should have been more, it should have been this, it should have been that.
But this was a start. We
and
never had any of this
that's
before.
Exactly what it is. You get your foot in the door.
And nothing is going to cover everybody. Some people may like some things, some people may not. And like I mentioned before, the thing that I'm so very happy about and I'm using is those mental health benefits. Like that was a big need. And I know I said it before, I want to repeat, like I'm so glad our union or our executives were able to get that.
Yep.
And the shoes. I just found out about that today. But that was something that we lacked for so long because before we got that put into our benefits, we only had psychiatrist coverage. And you don't get referred to a psychiatrist that easy. That's like, you really need some attention. You probably shouldn't be at work.
Yep.
And it didn't cover that much. So knowing that I can get coverage now just to see a regular counselor, a grief counselor, a family counselor, and it's covered, that at least for myself really did help.
Yes.
It did help me.
Yes. And sorry, just a couple more things. Like a huge thing for our members was like what's going on with the assets of the union, the money
Yes.
that the union has.
Yes.
And we were happy to introduce the quarterly report.
Okay.
It was put on hold during the contract negotiation, but by the time this video comes out, the members will see the it reintroduced, just kind of giving a snapshot of the union finances between one quarter and another. And actually, as we approach the year end, we've given a term outlook of what the last 3 years have looked like and the increases experienced.
Yeah.
Mind you, on top of maintaining our expenses, which is massive.
Yeah.
So
It's really good.
yes.
Because I know everyone keeps asking about the books.
Let them ask.
Stop
We're
stealing the money,
open.
Andrew.
Wrong guy.
Stop. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. But we kind of touched on the finances a little bit. And you did talk about how you thought it was very important to stay connected to the members. You do your monthly Zoom meetings. You're at all the regular monthly meetings. We have that wonderful WhatsApp group chats where I've told you some of them you need to get out of. But I understand why you're there, because you want to make sure you reach all the members. And if we have 10 of them, you're in all 10, whether they are union sanctioned or not. But I also like that you have one specific union group chat where it's locked and you guys are really just posting information.
Yes.
So
Oddly enough, that's our most populated group.
yes, because sometimes we just want, the drama is nice sometimes. It really is. I lay at night and I kind of read through. But sometimes information gets lost. And to bring it back to what we're talking about here about co-workers who have passed, there's been many times that their memorial or their name or their picture or their announcement of their passing has been put. And people don't see it because people are arguing and their stuff gets pushed up. Their information or their post gets pushed up. And I find that so sad that, we got to remember sometimes just to get out of our own space and remember that we're all humans and we all love each other and we all die, and let's all take a moment and breathe. But either which way, before we wrap things up, I just want to ask, what are your plans for professional development and education for members, and how can these initiatives benefit us long term?
Well,
Outside of the silent conversations, grief support group.
of course.
What
of
else?
course. Major changes coming for our local in the future. Assuming I'm reelected, one of the agenda items is transit security.
Okay.
I think it's really important. I want to make sure that our operators and maintenance workers are protected while they're out there, and that response time is very fast. And if it can't be done through transit security or transit enforcement, then increasing our relationship with the police, having dedicated officers assigned to transit duties. Another major goal of mine is getting more of the membership involved. We have strong resources with Watson Palmer Law. We have utilized shop steward training in the past. We've utilized WSIB and health and safety training in the past with other organizations. And what I really want to do is promote our members to get involved, because an educated membership is a strong membership,
exactly.
a powerful membership. And really, this last contract was the framework for the future.
For the future, yeah.
And if we want to see real significant change, then we need to achieve that change in solidarity, hand in hand with one another, moving forward, moving as one entity. No more of the drama, no more of the breaking up and the arguing and the bickering, just understanding that we are all on the same transit boat and we're all sailing in the same direction. And the idea is greener pastures.
Yeah.
We're always fighting to forward our agenda, which is the betterment of our union family,
A strong union family.
and the betterment of the labor movement.
And I think that's very important, that whoever is leading us, you can trust in them. I know that's very easy to say. Sorry, my thoughts. Just their morals and where they stand. And one thing you said a couple union meetings back, you said, I'm not going to do anything to put the union in jeopardy. It has nothing to do with my personal feelings towards anybody. I can put that aside, because if I do something because I don't like someone, but in the end it affects the union and how strong we look towards management, then I just wasted everybody's time pretty much, right? And whenever people ask me about you, and I'll be honest, they'll ask, are you going to vote for Andrew, or what's your feelings? I say just that. I believe that whatever personal feelings Andrew has with anybody, he would not let that get in the way of his position as president and the union body as a whole. So I just wanted to say that to you, and give you some reassurance
Thank
that
you.
I'm on your side.
Thank you. So just for the mic, I have your vote.
Yes, you have my vote, Andrew. No, I'm being serious,
Thank
right?
you.
And
Thank you.
maybe, like, we talk candidly, and me and you have been really good friends, but there was a moment where, we weren't talking for a moment, and I, publicly, I was upset about some things. But you never held that against me. And when I had my year of ups and downs, I got really sick over the last year, and you never once said not to call me, or you didn't pass me on to one of the union reps who would be the first point of contact. You answered my calls. You never held it against me for me kind of publicly being upset with you. And that is what I tell people when they ask me that. I said, I truly believe that Andrew loves the union and is here to make changes that are better for the union. I can see in some of the things that he does, some of the things I may not agree with, but overall you're not going to satisfy everybody, right? But yeah, anyways, I can ramble.
No
I don't want to
worries.
start doing
No worries.
that.
I could ramble too. Actually, one last thing I
Getting
did.
us both together, we start rambling.
Another thing I did want to touch on though is
Yeah.
just the vision for the future. So I did
Yes.
mention transit enforcement, but also we were talking about stages of life
Yeah.
and demographics within our union, and that's why retirement benefits
Are very important.
they're very, very, very important. That's one of the top items on my platform moving into the next term. And we, or the executive board at the time, in that future date, will 100% be taking that to the table. And that's not something that we're going to give up or ease up on very lightly or easily. That's really my next goal, and some people might say, "Oh, Andrew, don't give them a heads up, don't let management know where you're going." But I want management to know that this union is dedicated to the betterment of its members, and whatever that looks like, I support and will fight for, and I'll work with our members to ensure that we all get there together on the same page, moving as one entity.
Yeah.
That's what's the most important part.
And I like that, because you want to make sure that after you put all these years into a job, that you're supported afterwards, right? And we're all going to get there, hopefully. So you want to know that when it's, okay, I put in my 30 years, it's time for me to retire. It's not like, oh, you're cut off your benefits now. Your income has also dropped, right? So we want to make sure that we continue to support our union brothers and sisters even after they have retired and are no longer. Because I believe retirees still come to the meetings.
Oh,
And
100%.
but they don't have a vote.
They have say.
They have
can
say.
come to the mic, and there's a lot of important reasons why you want to stay connected to the union when you retire. You do get a death benefit.
Yes.
I will just mention that if you continue to pay your dues, and before you think that it's not worth it to pay your dues, John puts it like this: you'd have to live an additional 40 years, essentially into your hundreds, for it not to be worth it to you.
Yeah.
Based off the amount that you have to pay when you retire. Also, during election time, you do vote for the top 4.
Yeah.
So, you get a lot of, there is power as an elected member. And please, sorry, not elected member, as a retired member. And please, share your knowledge, share your experience, share your outlook. I respect Al Makavicius.
Yes.
He comes to those meetings.
Yeah.
He's been retired for how long?
Love me some Al.
And you know what? he doesn't even always agree with me. So I'm
No.
I'm not being biased here. Oftentimes he says, Andrew, I don't agree with that. Let me hear that. That's important. Show me your experience. Reinhard
Yes.
often shows up. Gary Burrows, a lot of other retirees come out to the retirement events. Of course, love and respect to Chris Everett Sr.
Yes.
But big respect for all of our retirees, and they're integral and important to our union movement.
Yeah. I think that's important. Okay. Well, I think that's all I got for you today.
Okay.
I mean, that really is all I have.
Okay.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But thank you so much, Andrew, for coming out and speaking with me today. You are my very first guest as I launch Silent Conversations. And again, to normalize discussions about grief and death. And I thought it was really important to start my first episode with my coworkers, because like I say to you all the time, I see the memorial wall at work and I talk to other drivers. I'm like, we really need a space to kind of get that feeling out. and just feel supported. So thank you. And everyone, don't forget to look up for the sign up sheet. Our first session, I believe, is going to be December 13th at the Union Hall. The time is to be announced. And again, it's covered by our insurance. And just come and see how you feel and see if it's something that can resonate with you or help you, or just come support another coworker. Yes.
Great.
Okay.
In closing, I just
Oh,
want to
we're all
say,
closing.
if you're okay,
No, that's fine.
I'll let some dead air pass. So, I just want to say I'm looking for my members' support this election term. December the 4th is election day. I am looking for your support for another term. Together we fight. Together we win. My name is Andrew Salaby. Let's get this done together.
And I am Rochelle Didney, badge 799. And I support Andrew for president.
Thank you
can
very
take that
much.
part in.